you got a little bit
Yeah,
of
she pulled him into the
you got a little bit of panache, right? It's either her or Pelosi, one of the two, right? They pulled him in the room, right? Pelosi was probably drunk when it happened, right? And she was just like, now, Bertie, right? We're gonna need you to have you throw that support Biden's way, right? Because this is the Democrat Party, and that's just what we do around here. And I'm Speaker of the House. You know, some dumb shit like that. That's what was happening. So you know what? Shoe0nhead, we've been asking a question since the Hippy Dippy Rumble, and I just don't know if you're ready for it. But you know what?
Do we have to do this meme? Do we have to?
What is it? I'm scared.
Oh yeah!
Wait.
Oh
Do we have
yeah!
to do this meme? Do we have to? This meme's.
Oh wait!
Oh,
Hold on!
Is
Hold
it
on!
Do we have
is
to do
it
this meme?
the WQ?
Oh.
Wait.
You look. After I give you the question, I'm going to leave you for a few moments to think about your reply, okay? Because I'm going to go grab my jar of moonshine, okay? Okay.
Okay, I'm scared.
So here's the question.
You don't need to go down this road.
Why?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I would like to welcome you both to the Hippy Dippy Championship undercard, Shoe0nhead versus Critically Thinking Veteran, representative of the Wolf Pack. I'd like to welcome you over here for a topic that, by the way, is that the Huey Long flag in the background? I can see it.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see it. I know it. I recognize it. Okay? I would like to welcome you both here for what is sure to be an amazing matchup of the minds. And I'll allow you both to introduce yourself shortly. We're going to start with Shoe0nhead. Pumpkin pie depression story.
Oh God, you saw that?
Yeah.
It's so depressing. I worked so hard on it. Okay. Hello everyone. Oh, I hear an echo. I think that's okay. Hi, I'm Shoe0nhead. I am a YouTuber. And I don't know, this should be fun. I was the one who challenged CTV, let it be known. It was actually a joke at first. Because I'm like, you know what? I've never actually debated a right winger. This is the first time. I don't count Carolyn Borsenko, but like, so I was like, who would be like a good matchup? And like, I always love CTV's energy, so I'm like, all right, yeah, let's go for that. So this should be interesting.
Shoe0nhead coming out very cordial. We'll see if that plays out well for her. We're gonna now throw it over to CTV for him to introduce himself.
Well, welcome, everybody. The People's Champ has finally come back to the Hippy Dippy. That's where we're at tonight, folks. I'm looking forward to having a very fun, memey, casual, and intellectual conversation that is sure to stimulate everyone's minds and get the conversation going exactly where we know that it should go.
There were people like spamming my mentions with like the Wolf Pack. I'm like, what the fuck is the Wolf Pack? And I guess now I know. So
CTV is the Wolf Pack. I'm technically a shaman wolf in the community.
Actually, Dylan, you were upgraded to Sigma.
Wow.
Just so you know.
It's happy to know. Hey, is that a bribe? Is that a pre-match bribe? Upgraded me to Sigma Wolf?
No, actually, I did it last week. It's just from time to time I reevaluate people's, the work that they're doing, right? How they're holding to their own values, right, and being philosophically consistent. And there it is.
Thank you very much.
Am I anything?
I'm. You know what, Shoe0nhead? I couldn't even get a retweet from you on a couple of tweets, and then somehow, and you didn't even ask for an invite to the Discord.
Okay,
You're more than welcome to come join.
You weren't even following me, and I was like, "Well, shit!" And I followed you first. So
that's true. You got to follow the alpha before you know where to go.
Thank you. So I want to say that this match is also sponsored by Conflict of Nations World War III. I would appreciate if everybody just scanned the QR code, downloaded the game, played it. Shoe0nhead has agreed that if we get to 325 downloads by the end of the night, that she will delete her Twitter and endorse Hillary Clinton for 2024. I want to just make that publicly known that she proposed that to me, and that's her agreement. It's already signed and notarized. And I would like to thank Shoe0nhead for supporting the channel with such a bold promise. Now,
Yeah.
thank you very much. The QR code is in the left corner of the screen. Please download it and play it on your phone. We're trying to push the mobile version. Wonderful. Now we're going to go into the match. The debate topic is, can the left be patriotic? So I'm going to give you both a short period of time to do your intros before we have an open period of discussion. I'm going to start with Shoe0nhead.
So yes, I think the left can be patriotic, and I also think they should be patriotic. I think that in this time of like everyone is so like divided, I feel like, by class, by race, by, political ideology, I feel like this is the one thing that brings us all together as Americans. We're all American. And I feel like if we want to, unite the working class, I feel like taking up that mantle is a very smart and a good thing to do. And I also think that historically, the left has been somewhat patriotic. And I feel like in order to make this country better, you have to have love for it. You have to love it, or else if you're totally black-pilled on it, if you hate this country, then why would you want, what would be like the passion and the goal? Like, you want to help everybody in it, and you have to have love for your fellow Americans. So yes, the answer is yes.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to turn it over to Critically Thinking Veteran, representative of the Wolf Pack. Full title.
Well, I can definitely agree that the left should be patriotic. There's a lot of reasons to be patriotic about our great nation. And I do think that there was a time when those that were on the left side of politics, right, were in fact patriotic. However, I do think that with such movements as Antifa that has been co-opted, right, and being owned by the left, right, this need and push to try to bring down government, all of these things that are now associated with the left's ideology make it real hard for somebody like me sitting here looking at the entire specter of politics, not only from the ground level where you see Antifa, BLM, some of these movements getting together and starting to destroy property, but also whenever you've got the politicians actively promoting these things, like Maxine Waters coming out saying, if you see these people in restaurants, go pick them up, pull them out. We ain't trying to be friends. So whenever you have the political leaders that are leading this thing, it makes it real hard for me to be able to believe that at this moment in time that the left can be patriotic. Now, this is exactly where good people coming to the forefront of the party would be able to change the direction of it. And until that happens, I just haven't seen much patriotism on the left.
So what is patriotism to you? Because you're talking about like politicians and the government. So patriotism to you is being like nice to politicians and the government, or like what? I just need to know like your idea of being patriotic.
Well, what is patriotic rooted in? What is being a patriot? What is it rooted in kind of at the forefront?
It's like loyalty and love to your country, your nation, right?
Loyalty.
Proud of it.
Okay, but what constitutes this country?
I think the people do. I don't give a shit about the people in charge. They don't give a shit about us, so.
Right, the people do. So since the people constitute the government, right, and our government is centered around the people as by way of the U.S. Constitution of, by, and for the people. Oh, yeah. That's how it's framed. You can argue. Well, that's why we bother reading it, so we can understand the framing. So whenever you start with the Constitution and then you go all the way through, right, how it goes through Article 2 where it sets up the executive, Article 3 sets up the legislative, and Article 4, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but sets up the judicial, right? All three of these set up the initial framework, and then later we get into, other things that can be done along with it. So this framework, right, of, by, and for the people is what makes the people all together, right? So without this government, right, there's no nation, right? So without the government, there's no nation, and it is in fact chaos. And this is essentially where, like any civilization that has came off along the way from early history to today, right? The center of government ends up being what is representative of the people of a given area of land. So when the representatives, right, on say like this is where we're in this two-party system that we have today between Democrats and Republicans, in this two-party system, if those that are on the left leading the charge end up pushing the narrative towards a way that is in fact unpatriotic, and I would say that, you know, walking into restaurants and disturbing people's meals and going and burning down federal courthouses and these types of things, those are not values that I hold as a part of our nation, right? So when the politicians are actively pushing that and they're on that side in this moment in time, there's no way that I can say that. Until we get some different leadership on the left side, which I think is exactly what needs to happen, that's where we're at.
So I just think we have fundamental differences between like what's important in this country. I feel like the government isn't working for the people anymore. You're like, oh, this framework. Yeah, sure. You know, I love the Constitution too, right? I cuddle with it at night, you know? But like
it is a pretty warm, fuzzy blanket that's being provided by all the veterans out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
So, so it's a good framework. But do you believe that the people in charge right now are following it? Do you believe that? Yeah.
No, I don't. I think that what actually needs to happen is that we call an Article 5 convention of the states, and we start getting state legislatures more involved in disassembling this federal government.
Okay, kind of base, but okay. So to me, what could make somebody patriotic is caring about the people in the country, and I feel like, you know, the people in charge, and plus, you know, whatever you would call like the elites of the country, the billionaire class or whatever, like they don't like this country at all. I don't think they do. I don't know how you feel about like corporations and stuff. Are you a
I think for too long the American people have been complacent with allowing the expansion of corporate power in government.
Okay. Okay. So like people in charge like that, like the elites of this country, like don't really give a shit about this, you know, like they offshore all of their work and everything like that. They don't care about us really. And I feel like the working class altogether, the people, I don't like saying working class, but you know what I mean, like the people of this country or whatever. I feel like if we unite.
Wait, is that because you don't consider yourself as a part of the working class?
I'm like a YouTuber. I'm like middle class. I don't know.
Yeah. So wouldn't you still be considered as a part of the working class? Are you a part of the top 1% of the elites that I keep hearing about on the left?
Oh no, I'm not. Definitely not 1%. But
so then you're just a working class stiff like me, Dylan, and every other streamer that's on this platform, right?
Sure. Yes. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so like all of us,
we go into the content mics and the content mines get black lung.
Sure.
Exactly. We're real blue collar workers here. But you know what I mean. So like, I feel like to you, like, do you feel like, you know, our military being loyal to the military is patriotic? And like, I'm just trying to get a feel because I don't
well, there's
know.
Definitely a certain amount of, say, drive that an individual will have that ends up forming what they decide to do. So, like for me, and I feel like personal examples are probably the best to use here. When I graduated high school, I already knew I was going into the Navy. Right, it wasn't even a question for me. My grandfather served in World War II as a heavy machine gunner that was taken prisoner of war at the Battle of the Bulge. Right, I actually have a postcard that my dad is saving. Where from the concentration camp that he was being held at.
Yeah, Shoe0nhead, did you fight at the Battle of the Bulge?
Not.
Interesting. Continue, CTV.
So I've got the actual postcard from the Nazi concentration camp that he sent to let the family know that he was still alive after the Battle of the Bulge. He came back. Obviously, he has 4 sons and a daughter. One of them happens to be my dad. 2 of my uncles also served in the Army. My dad served in the Army as air defense artillery. So as a kid, I learned aircraft recognition, tank recognition, like all this shit, right? And then as I went through school, 6th grade until I graduated, I decided that I was going to be a musician. So I played drums. And then when I went into the Navy, like it wasn't even a question. This is what I was doing. Now, a lot of that was centered around my love of country, right?
Mhm.
Because I had already been, especially when I was younger, grew up in around Fort Stewart, Georgia.
Deep
Right?
lore. The
Oh yeah,
CTV lore.
yeah, lots of deep lore. So like I'm growing up down here, multicultural environment. I'm loving it, right? I grow up in the mountains of North Carolina, isolated from all of that kind of shit, right? So for me,
Wait.
it was
Did you grow up in the mountains of South Carolina?
North
I did
Carolina.
not.
Interesting. Continue.
So look, we end up with the CTV that does 9 years in the Navy on Ohio class submarines as a machines made auxiliaryman, learning hydraulics, all of this stuff. And when it comes to patriotism, just to get it back on topic, right?
Hmm.
My patriotism is rooted in the service that I did for not only myself, because obviously I'm a part of everybody, right?
Hmm.
Of we and by the people, but for everyone else as well, right?
Hmm.
And it's just a small part to play in the mass scheme that is the way that the federal government has expanded its military forces. I feel like that the federal government itself is not organized the way that it was constitutionally intended. Now that needs to be revisited, and we're spending too much money on this thing. But at the same time, whenever we have global tensions that end up justifying the very reason for having these things, it's like, how do we de-escalate the situation where it's just not required? That's going to take cooperation. This is also where, like, I go into, if other nations want to be a part, like be a state of the United States, and they do it through vote, that's like the only way you're going to be able to accomplish that. So the left, right, with their open borders and with increasing the taxes, I mean, shutting down the pipeline, there's a lot of things that's happened on the left that just don't speak to me of patriotism.
Uh-huh.
They just don't.
Let's say when you came back from war, you were like injured, and then that made you homeless, right? Who are the people who are fighting for your benefits? It's the left, right? They're always the ones who are like, oh, we need more veteran care and stuff like that.
I don't know that either side can be taken credit for anything that happens with veterans. Like, fuck no. I mean, if you're really trying to give anybody any kind of credit, you're going to have to give it to Trump, right? Like, you know what? Here's the reality, right? I looked at this fucking infrastructure bill, right? $14.6 billion is slotted to go to the Department of Veterans Affairs. But you know what? We could spend $37.5 fucking billion on electrifying the post office's fucking vehicles. What's wrong with the ones they're fucking running now? There's not a fucking thing wrong with them, right? The only problem here is that the left wants to create this whole fucking industry that's not even fucking sustainable, right? They don't give a fuck about the environment, because if they did, they take the arguments when it came to the thousands of birds that get fucking killed seriously, but they fucking don't, right? Not only that, not only... Go ahead. What do you got? You look like you're about to burst. Go ahead.
No, I just want to ask, are you like pro-nuclear energy? Do you think that's
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
I
because
don't know. I feel like we have similar problems sometimes with how the government is running. And neither party really talks about nuclear. But yeah, no, to bring it back to veterans, it's always the left who are fighting for veteran things.
Not true.
Okay, it's not the GOP, at least. Can you at least?
It's either both sides or it's none, because I feel like that what it typically ends up happening is there's just breadcrumbs just being thrown along the way, right? Okay, and then I got to sit here, right, and then like ask the question, why do we give a fuck about the post office and electrifying the vehicles whenever you're giving double the fucking money to that, and you're only giving half to the veterans that sacrificed years of their life for the fucking country, right? Like, it makes no fucking sense. So if
Okay, yeah,
the
no, I
left, if the
agree.
left wanted me to be able to take, if they wanted me to take them seriously, even like in this instance, they had like a huge way to be able to grab CTV's attention. Hey, we're at least giving you more money than we're giving the post office for a bad fucking idea. Then I'd be like, oh, well, at least that's something, right? But if all you give a fuck about really is creating this industry with fucking batteries, and you know what? The fact of the matter is with these electric vehicles, there's diesel engines that will be there as a backup to be able to charge these fucking cars. Exactly how did you get rid of the fossil fuel?
I love my job.
You didn't.
Fight. I don't even know how to fight with this. I'm just letting him go off. Okay. Yeah, I just want to like bring it like 'cause you agree that the left used to be patriotic. Like the person who literally wrote the Pledge of Allegiance was a socialist.
Well, back in the days of Kennedy, I mean, I would put, Kennedy was a Democrat. I mean, yeah. So that's why I said has not anymore. Would love for it to get back to.
Okay. Dylan, what should we fight about?
What do you mean? You're engaging quite well here. What's the problem?
Where do we go from here? It's just like, yes, the left isn't patriotic. Yes, I agree. They should be. We both agree. Let's see. Fucking.
Well, here's a question. CDV, you told me once. You think Bernie's a communist. You think he's one of those unpatriotic types.
Oh, wait!
Right?
Wait!
Sure. Yeah, let's run with that.
You think Bernie's not patriotic?
Well, I'll tell you what, if Bernie would have actually put his money where his mouth was instead of selling out whenever the Democrat Party decided that he was going to not be the candidate, then maybe you'd have a fucking leg to stand on. But since you don't, this is where we are. I'm so fucking disappointed in Bernie, frankly. He could have done a hell of a lot before his old ass died off. But you know what he had to do? He had to sell out to the fucking Biden train. What the fuck is this shit?
Okay,
Could have done so much for the people, but no.
Wait. What did you like about him? You're saying all this like he could have done so much. What did you like about Bernie? What are some policies and things you liked about Bernie? What do you mean he could have done so much for the people? Expand on that.
Well, it was obvious to me that Bernie was able to grab a hold of a crowd, right, that had not been spoken to in a long time. Right?
Uh-huh.
That right there is recognition enough to be like, hey, dude, you've got the fucking people behind you. What do you really want to accomplish? You keep talking about democratic socialism and yada, 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 but what did you really get done? I feel like you just been towing the line for the Democrat Party because it's been good for your pocket for a while.
Well, no, but he's done a lot for, like, for example, like, he does a lot of policy, like, he got something done for, like, local miners of, like, I think it was North Carolina? I'm not sure. You lived in North Carolina, right?
Well, I grew up in North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, he did something that was, like, really, really great. He does stuff like that all the time. He does great local things, and he does as much as he can for what he can do, but, like, what do you think he's gonna do? Like, in my perfect Bernie world, he wouldn't have like cucked out for the Democrats, and he would have been more like aggressive towards them. He would have. I wish he had more of a spine. He could have been like a Huey Long type, right? But at the end of the day, like he's gonna go with the people who have the best policies. And what are Republicans offering? What are they offering? Like nothing. They don't do anything. They have like culture war. Like their policies are doo-doo, and that's why they focus on culture war things. So Bernie chose to go. He's an independent. He's not even a Democrat.
You know what? You know why it's that way?
Why?
Because both sides of politics are corrupt.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Right. So. This is where, like, we, the American people, got to recognize these facts and start speaking truth to the people.
Okay. Yes, we agree. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. So
yeah,
it's just so funny when people like you are like, "Oh, Bernie's so fucking based. He could have got," and it's like, "What do you agree with?" And you're just like, "I don't know. He was just like pretty cool." It's like, did you like any of his policies or anything? I feel like he was very patriotic. He had a whole big ad. One of my favorite ads from 2015, where like people were holding American flags and like Bernie 2020, and Hillary came out and was like, "This ad is racist." And so, like, I feel like Bernie was one of the most, like, fundamentally patriotic people in the Democratic Party, at least for a very long time.
He
So
was
it's just
definitely,
funny.
yeah, he was just kind of towing that line on his own, wasn't he?
A little bit,
Yeah,
but
'cause
like,
look at what circles he's swimming in, right? And then he ends up getting back in the corner, and I'm sure him and Hillary probably had a conversation, and she was like, "Listen here, Bernie, okay, you got a little bit
yeah,
of
she pulled him into the
you got a
smoking
little
room.
bit of panaz, right? It's either her or Pelosi, one of the two, right? They pulled him in the room, right? Pelosi was probably drunk when it happened, right? And she was just like, now, Bernie, right? We're gonna need you to have you throw that support Biden's way, right? Because this is the Democrat Party, and that's just what we do around here. And I'm Speaker of the House. You know, some
Yeah.
dumb shit like that. That's what was happening.
Yeah.
So
They threatened his family, right? We know what happened.
something. Look, all I know is Nancy Pelosi ended up with a fucking cow's head thrown at her fucking garage door, and they had to come fucking clean it up. Some bitch was laying out there on the street. Clearly, she was rattled, right?
Somebody pooped on Nancy Pelosi's driveway.
Oh,
A king.
that's
It's like
absolutely
king
fucking
shit.
hilarious. Yeah. You know what?
Okay.
Now that you mentioned it, that sounds almost like a drive worth to California. Almost.
I want to fight with you, so let's fight about something.
Okay, so you know what? Shoe0nhead, we've been asking a question since the Hippy Dippy Rumble, and I just don't know if you're ready for it. But you know what?
Do we have to do this meme? Do we have to?
What
Oh
is
yeah.
it? I'm scared.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Do we have
yeah.
to do this meme? Do we have to? This meme's
Oh wait.
Oh, is
Hold
it?
on.
Is it
Hold on.
Do we have
is
to
it
do
the
this meme?
the WQ?
Oh.
Wait.
You look. After I give you the question, I'm going to leave you for a few moments to think about your reply, okay? Because I'm going to go grab my jar of moonshine, okay? Okay.
Okay, I'm scared.
So here's the question.
You don't need to go down this road.
Why?
You want to support the channel but don't have a lot of money? Well, I just got a sponsorship with the video game Conflict of Nations, which is a pretty cool grand strategy game, which I've tried out myself. I think it's pretty dope. And if you download the game on your phone using the QR code provided and you play it, just a tutorial, you'll be supporting the channel more than you actually think. Like, actually a lot more than you think. And I would deeply appreciate it. You can delete it after if you don't enjoy it, keep playing it if you enjoy it, but it greatly support the channel and I would appreciate it.
Are women?
The WQ. I hate when they hit you with it.
He does this to everyone. He just asks them why are women. And like really reads into their answers.
Was he born in a test tube? Is that why?
I love
I have a
CTV,
feeling
man.
he was.
I love him.
I knew this was gonna happen though. I knew like we weren't gonna disagree on that much. It was gonna be like
This segment of the show brought to you by Old Smoky Apple Pie Moonshine, a Hippy Dippy Rumble favorite. We all know.
I tried
all love it.
moonshine once and it was disgusting.
So Shoe0nhead, why?
Okay.
So why are women?
CTV, were you born in a test tube? I have a feeling that you were.
It is not my recollection of the events in question that I was.
Okay, well, women, hey. Women, we're all here because of women, are we not?
Well, I mean, that brings us to, one of the very important questions. And that question still is, why are women, right? So you've named a fact of the case, right? Let's get to the...
Okay. More philosophical. Okay.
Yeah, why are women? I've heard it argued, right? And me and my wife, we've been arguing about it. We've been arguing about it like crazy. She's came up with the idea now. Wolficorn has said hashtag, why are men?
That's a hard
question. I feel like these two philosophies tie together. And Shoe0nhead, as me being representative of hashtag why are men, right? And in this moment, you being a representative of hashtag why are women, I feel like that we have a real opportunity to be able to get to the core of these two particular ideologies. So Shoe0nhead, why are women? Right? Like, what I don't understand, like, you know what? Let's call some people out. Because I was on Twitter, right? We all get on the Twitter from time to time. I saw Aristocracy, right? She posts a tweet, a real sweet tweet, right? About how she's going to be late for her stream. And I was like, that's really thoughtful. But then it made me think, aren't women typically late? So then I was like, you know what? Hashtag why are women? Here we go. Right? Another one, right? BX Bullet TV. Right? She posts a thing about how shotguns are 99%, right? The weapon not of choice when it comes to defending your home. Based fucking advice, right? And again, I'm asked the question, hashtag why are women? And you know what? That answer rests with the fucking left too. You know why? Because Joe Biden and his dumbass came out and told women, all you need is 2 blasts of the shotgun. Right? That's what he did. So then we end up with back on the left, patriotism. How did he do it? I don't fucking know, but here's where we are.
Well, first of all, men use 1 in 3 shampoo, right? They use shit for their hair, for their body, for their face. They're fucking gross. They use 1 towel for literally everything, for their face, for their ass. They never, change their fucking pillowcases. I've seen online.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen
Go
online.
off, Queen. Tell me about it.
They're like, what's a pillowcase? Men are disgusting, right? They they couldn't take care of themselves if we weren't there. So that is why our women.
I'm going to be honest with you. Everything that you just said speaks to personal experience with the wrong kind of men, okay?
Oh, no, this is from online. This is from things I have seen. So, yeah.
Well, still, right? These examples are still examples of the wrong kind of men, right? The kind of men that you need.
As much as I enjoy this, okay?
Yeah, we got
as much as I would love for this to be the conversation we have. For the little bit of time we have. Fuck, we still have 30 minutes. For the time we have left. We should
make us fight.
We should get back to the patriotism topic. And so my I should throw it back over to patriotism. So my question would be back over to what was unpatriotic about Bernie, CTV?
Well, you don't sell out. You don't you don't lead people towards a goal, right? Saying that you're going to be the arbiter of it just to pass them off to, your party constituents. I feel like that some of the policies, like he was one of the main ones that was pushing this $15 minimum wage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So while that seems like a good policy on its face, the reality is it lacks nuance like a motherfucker. Because, do you understand what I'm talking about?
No, I'm just letting you elaborate.
Okay. So the $15 minimum wage federally, what that ends up doing is it exploits lower wage areas, right? Typically more rural areas, and into forcing them to pay higher wage via federal law, when in fact, right, the absolute power with this rests with the states via the 10th Amendment. So what we've done is we've allowed corporations to get involved in the federal government, which then allowed them to start expanding their lobbyists and spheres of influence to the point now, if you get an overweight ticket in a semi, they don't actually care. They just pay the fine and go on. So that there's a lack of respect for the law.
Are you a anti-illegal immigration guy? Obviously you are, right?
Yeah. Okay. Anti-illegal immigration.
So one of the things that corporations and stuff will do, as I'm sure you know, is they will take advantage of the fact that immigrants sometimes will want to work for lower wages, right? If there is a $15 federal minimum wage, they can't do that anymore. They can't they'd have to pay everybody the same. So this this kind of cuts off that. Am I wrong, CTV?
No, you're right that if you put the law on the books, that it cuts that out. But the reality of the situation is, when it comes to a principled look at how the government is framed, that's why undercutting the states and pushing it to the federal level in all of the cases in which the left continues to push it would probably, as a matter of fact, would be unpatriotic. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Because every single time you go to expand government, you're being antithetical to what it is that is an American value, right? And the American value is not having a gun pointed at you by the government, right? Unless you do some stupid ass things that we can all agree are bad and you shouldn't do. And then, like, we've expanded that to prostitution as an example, right? Or the drug war, which is a big fucking meme over here, right? The government makes the thing illegal. Now, if you have such thing, now they're going to point a gun at you and tell you that you're going to jail if they find you with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. And if you're black, you might even get shot.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Right? So
I'd heard you were the drug war guy. So
true.
Okay, it makes sense. Yeah, but because we're going back, how was Bernie unpatriotic though? Because you were just like, he sells out and the $15 minimum wage is unpatriotic, but I feel like it's not. I feel like paying American workers more is like a really, really good thing. You're right that the states, it will be different everywhere in the states, but like...
Well, even in California...
Okay.
Well, even in California right now, there are places that have higher minimum wage that were voted on locally. So the point there to be made is that even at local and state levels, you can have a higher minimum wage than what is the federal minimum wage, right? And if the state and the local constituency is taking care of its business and business owners as well as their employees, that's the kind of behavior that I would want on the local level, and it doesn't need to be federalized, and it just creates a much bigger problem.
The drug war was a good point, but like, again, who are the group of people who are fighting to make drugs like decriminalized? Like,
Stoners, probably. Yeah.
Okay. I just like, you're saying things and like, I don't know why you're a Republican, because it's like a lot of the policies you agree with are more...
No, and this is where I have to push back on conservatives and Republicans, is the fact of the matter, like in the case of the prohibition and the drug war, or in the case of prostitution, or in the case of other things that would be viewed as a moral wrong, the justification for me is not there to point a gun at someone said, tell them not to do a thing, right? I could sit there and tell them, like, if you do this thing, this is going to end up happening to you. And this is what the reasons why you shouldn't do it. But if you choose to do these things, well, that's your freedom, right? So it's at the point where it always seems like whenever it's talking to somebody on the left, there's a balance between complete authoritarian control over the individual and complete chaos, right? And they always lean towards trying to control that person in the guise of watching out for their well-being. But then when it ends up becoming a praxis on a day-to-day... Say again?
You're a libertarian?
No, I'm a constitutional conservative.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is where, like, I push back against those things at the federal level. If the states want to do those things, I can illustrate a lot of reasons why that you should just figure out a way to allow the behavior and be able to protect those that are partaking in it. Like in the example of prostitution, right? Make sure there's a fucking camera on in the room. If you're not okay with a camera on in the room.
For prostitution?
Yeah.
Why? Wait.
Well, not only do you protect the prostitute, but you also protect the John.
Okay. I've never heard that proposed before. Okay, so cameras on when you bang prostitutes. Okay. Well,
at least then you give people some ownership, right? Maybe they can put that content onto their OF. I don't know if we can actually mention that here, but you know, you throw the contents onto there. Now there's some money being made on it. You know, maybe you get a little bit of promotional because you went and seen this particular prostitute, right? There's a whole lot of things that could end up coming by way of social media to be like people recognizing who you are and the things that you do. That's where government would be great at facilitating those kinds of things rather than trying to lock people up. And frankly, how do we end up with more people in jail in the land of the free and the home of the brave than anywhere else in the fucking world?
So you're like, are you like a big prison reform, abolish private prisons? How do you feel about that?
Let's see. Yeah, private prisons need to go away completely.
Okay.
Completely. As soon as they allowed the corporatization of the prison system, all they really did was give the government, right, through the contracts, because Remember, the government had to agree to 50% occupancy or 75% occupancy, right? So then that further perpetuates the drug war because now they want to keep these lesser charges on the books so that they can continue to not have to pay a fine for not fulfilling the contract that they have with these private organizations. Fact of the matter is, I would rather maintain a state-owned jail, right, or a state-owned prison than to have a corporation do it, because if the corporation does it, there's no accountability.
Yeah, and they're profiting off of jailing people.
Exactly.
Fuck.
And then the government becomes incentivized to continue this bad policy so that it can continue to fill the jail, and then people literally become just cattle. It's ridiculous.
Why? Okay. Why don't you just be a leftist?
Because I'm a constitutional conservative.
Okay. Oh, but like this is my whole like I love America and the Constitution. I still consider myself on the left. What is making you? What is
if
making
you're agreeing
you,
with CTV on every single point?
Not everything.
Right?
I feel like you're a little too low bird
Here's a question,
when it comes to economics.
What do you think it says if you're agreeing with CTV on everything?
I'm not agreeing with him. I feel like he's libertarian brained on economics. But
so how do you think that we should be structuring the economic system moving forward?
Well, I feel like the wealth inequality in this country is ridiculous. It's worse than it has been in the Gilded Age. The middle class is disappearing. Do you care about that?
Of course I do.
Okay. Do you agree with like a progressive tax, taxing the rich more, or?
I think that until the point that you and anybody else that is advocating for increased taxes needs to start taking a real look at destructuring the government so that we can decrease cost. At that point, I'll take all of these conversations about wanting to increase taxes seriously. Until then, stop fucking with the American people, right? Start destructuring the government so it doesn't cost as much. And then maybe we start getting to a point to where we can afford the fucking government that we have and we can pay back this fucking debt and restore freedom on the fucking ground. Until then, right, all these talks about taxes and progressive taxes and raising the corporate rate and all these other things that get mentioned is just motherfucking trying to justify the rampant cost of fucking government, and they don't want to address the real issue, which is it's gotten too fucking big.
Oh. Okay, so that's probably not gonna happen. So until then, like, are you a big Jeff Bezos fan? I don't think so. Shouldn't he be?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Jeff Bezos has been providing a quality product, right, by way of his website and his bookstore that he started off with back in the day, which led to storefronts and everything else, and has set up factories with lots of jobs for people. There's been questions about worker standards, and I do believe that they've been addressing these types of worker standards that have been going on. But the fact of the matter is that until the demand from the customers stops, that machine still needs to get moving, and I would much rather have those things happening here than happening in other places.
Well,
regardless of where the products come from, because I'm going to be honest, there's some of the products on Amazon that you absolutely should not buy. Do not buy spark plugs for your fucking vehicle off Amazon. It's a bad fucking idea. Just don't do it.
Okay. So Amazon, you think like something like Amazon should be like
15 minutes.
Oh shit. You think something like Amazon should be like broken up and stuff though, because like they're basically putting a lot of like small businesses and stuff out of like you saw during the pandemic, during the lockdowns and stuff. Jeff Bezos almost became a fucking trillionaire. He's almost up there. And
him and Lowe's and Home Depot and Walmart and all these other big corporations and this is kind of the thing that you have to go back into history to fully understand. This has been happening for a long time where corporations have been getting involved in the government and expanding their lobbies and making it much easier for them to basically nationalize business rather than it kind of being segregated to the states, requiring different business licensing so that the market stayed smaller so that there could be as close to the individual impact that continue to sustain small business. Whew, that was a mouthful. So since we got, small businesses where all of your real economic gains are made, and we have a few corporations that have risen the way that they have because the government's been allowing it, not only just that they've been allowing it, right, but Amazon at this point, right, is exploiting the postal service by basically taking pallets of shit that other people order from Amazon, and then they just drop it off at the USPS, right? And then the postal workers are the ones that have to cut the shit apart, separate it out, and it's all just for Amazon, right? So fact of the matter is that we just need to stop the exploitation of the constitutionally guaranteed to build and maintain post roads as spelled out in the Constitution, because that right there is something that we, the American people, have to have, and stop allowing corporations to take advantage of the government.
Okay, but which group of people are the people who are going hard against the corporations?
I'd say both, depending on what the issue is.
Okay. I don't think so. But yeah, I don't.
You don't think the right's been pushing back against news media for how many years now? That's a
News
corporation.
media?
That's a corporation, is it not? That's why I said it depends on the issue. Because the fact of the matter is that the left has focused a lot of its energy on corporate media and getting their message out, right? And what the right has been focusing on is, like, say, in organizations like the NRA, right? Or you'd also see like the left would be supporting like anything to do with environmental protection sometimes. But you'd also see that on the right as well, because the right is real big on national forests and protecting wildlife as well. So it depends on the issue. But both sides, when it suits them, allows for corporations to get involved.
Well, yes, obviously, but I don't think the news media. You're probably talking about like CNN, MSNBC,
ABC, CBS, yeah, there's a whole list of them.
Yeah. So I wouldn't really count those as the left. But okay.
You wouldn't count that as like left side media?
Oh, left side media, yeah. But at the end of the
that's what I'm saying.
The CEO of CBS literally admitted, do you know this, that they like Trump and they want Trump to win because Trump brings in ratings.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes absolute sense with everything that I've been saying this past year. Mm-hmm. The corporate media, what they're most afraid of, Shoe0nhead, is you and me. That's what they're most afraid of.
So true, King.
It's true. And,
yeah.
and it's true, and here's why, right? The reason why is because they've been fighting for legitimacy for at least a decade now with the advent of the internet and the expansion of the ability for social media influencers to be able to take to the social media and start to put their ideas out there. This is then because, obviously the news organizations have been reaching out for their news, but in order to like continue to have that same viewership, which is now being spread out, they're now having to be even more sensational to continue to try to grab views and catch people's attention because of that.
And they're also going after the internet, like talking about how dangerous the internet it is and the radicalization, and you all know what they mean. Like they've literally said before, like, we need to crack down on this YouTube machine. And now they're like, MSNBC's trying to get into streaming now. I don't know if you know that. They want to like get personalities to go get on Twitch and stream. Anyway, yeah, but I wouldn't call like corporations like CNN or MSNBC like the left. They literally called Bernie supporters brown shirts during the the primaries. So I don't know. They literally, I think it was CNN who.
What'd you call BLM a corporation?
No, and I don't know why people say that.
Why
I know that there's like was there like a BLM movement Inc. or something? I don't know.
Well, if you go to the BLM website, you'll see donation links that end up tying the party directly back to the Democrat Party. So how does it not, start taking the mantle?
Okay, well, I don't know. I don't really care about that.
Fair enough.
I don't think like BLM the movement, like people just wanting to change the, prison, the fucking how police operate and shit. I don't think that's a corporation.
So
you think the people in the street are
back to the question. In the root question. Patriotism on the left
is based in good, and everybody should embrace it.
Should. You're right.
There's data that.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, there's data that came out that like I think it was like literally 100% of lower class people love their country and are patriotic. And I feel like if the left wants to get people on board, they should stop just being like, "Yo, America sucks. Don't fucking celebrate Thanksgiving. You're bad." Like I feel like the whole left's thing recently has been like, the thing you love is bad, and you're a bad person if you love the thing. Vote for us. I tweeted that today.
Well, you
So what you gotta
debating against
do
your own
is
point.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like we could be. We gotta be better than that. We gotta like bring people in and be like, hey, you know, this country has a lot of flaws, but we can be better, and it's good and cool, and we should do that. Am I wrong?
Not about wanting to do it. I think that you absolutely should do it. But the fact of the matter is, the reason why you feel like you should do it is because it doesn't exist currently.
Some people who feel the same way that I do. I think we could go back to that old, more like, I don't know, this like, it's a very unifying thing to be, you know, pro-America. Because, I don't know, it's the one, again, like I said in my opening thing, it's the one thing that we all have in common. And I feel like everybody is so divided nowadays. And I think that would be a good mantle for the left to take up. Critical support for the country.
I think that if you continue on the course that you are on, you could be one of those more rational voices on that side of politics.
All right. You too. Why are you not just be on the left? You care about the drug war. You don't like private prisons.
Because I'm at my core.
You thought Bernie was base. What are you doing?
Because I am, in fact, at my core, a constitutional conservative. There is at no point that whatever issue that it is, I don't refer back to the Constitution, which is the framework of our government, and how it is that the government should be operating by way of the document that founded the nation. Without the Constitution, we'd all just be.
Does the left hate the Constitution?
It sure seems like it whenever they start advocating for, taking away people's guns.
Oh, well, no. Oh, God. Everybody I know on the left is pro-gun, please.
You say that, and yet a part of... Yeah, you say...
O'Rourke.
Yeah, but you say that, and yet Joe Biden's campaign promises, as a matter of fact, you can still find them on his website. He wants to start making it harder and holding the manufacturers of firearms responsible for things that the customers end up doing with the gun.
Right? Hey, you know who was specifically against that and spoke out against that?
Who's that?
Bernie specifically said that if someone, I think he compared it to a hammer, that if someone killed someone with a hammer, you can't sue the hammer company. See?
Right. Oh, I'm with you. The same arguments. Yeah, the same argument there would be the same argument as to why you wouldn't hold the printing press liable for the words that get printed on the paper. Okay,
7 minutes. I win. The left can be patriotic, and they should be patriotic.
Except you've agreed with me on all my points as to why it's not that way right now.
I didn't say that it was that way right now.
Right, and that's
isn't the question, can the left be patriotic?
I think if I go back to the Twitter post, it'll say if, not can.
Okay. The topic was, can the left be patriotic, right? Dylan? Yes.
Yes.
It was. Therefore, I win.
Except, therefore, right, the reality of the situation is that you have not demonstrated how your party, right, is
I'm an independent. I'm not a Democrat.
Oh, well, you're arguing that side. I don't know what to tell you. So...
I'm not arguing for the Democratic Party. I'm arguing for the...
How are you not?
The Democrats suck! Why am I arguing for the Democrats? I'm not. I'm arguing for the broader left.
Yeah, well, that's
about the Democrats.
That's the side you're picking right now, because it says the left. That includes everything center or left of center, right? Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So the fact of the matter is that party leadership, right? The one example, the one shining example that you had was Bernie, and his ass sold out. Therefore, you don't get to take credit for anything that Bernie did because his ass sold out.
That I had to be cornered into the Democratic Party. This fucking sucks. I don't want to defend them. No, I know the the fucking left should be patriotic. I think that's good. I think it's
I-
better to be that way and to get our message across.
You know what? You know what? And in that spirit, I will agree that the left really should get their
Okay.
act together, right, and start being patriotic. But at the
But
current
your
moment,
idea
it's
of
just not happening.
patriotic is being nice to politicians. That's not my idea.
No,
of
it's not.
patriotic.
Are you shitting me? I'll rip anybody's asshole. I don't give a damn who they are.
You were like, oh, the left said, like, because you were like talking about bothering people in like restaurants, right? You bothering politicians?
Anybody.
Okay.
They wasn't just the politicians that Maxine Waters was referencing. She said anybody on their side.
Mm-hmm.
If you see these people, right? And then you end up with a whole lot of fucked up situations going on all over the country because of it. And it's all because the leaders of this party have been pushing the shit down the throats of American people. They've been radicalizing kids. They've been getting them to go burn down federal buildings, block roadways. People have been ran over. We got a whole lot of crazy ass shit going on. And it has everything to do with these politicians being real fucking careless with the words that they choose to use.
What about January 6th?
What about that?
That was insane. That was
It wasn't. Was absolutely insane that there were so many requests for the National Guard to be there ahead of time, and they were not, in fact, there because they were denied being there. It is crazy. I agree.
Okay, but that was an example of, you know, not just the left. That was like a whole bunch of fucking crazy ass rightoids that like broke into the Capitol.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And,
Did the topic all of a sudden change?
but I'm just saying, you're like the left is running people over. It's like, okay, but there's also crazy people on the other side. Is there not? Like,
Look, there was a minute ago where you asked specifically what the topic was, right? And we confirmed what the topic was. So the topic's not the right. The topic is in fact the left, right?
Okay. True. Yeah, the left should be patriotic. Okay. The end.
The end.
All right,
The
Dylan.
end.
Okay. So technically, you guys finished early, but that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'll message the judges and get the results.
People are like, Shoe's the worst debater. What am I supposed to debate about?
You know,
we agree the left should be patriotic.
Shoe, I gotta say, if you say out loud, people are saying Shoe is the worst debater. It's not gonna help with the judges.
I just, like, what was there to debate? I don't know. That was fun, though.
It was fun. I had a lot of fun.
It was very fun. Okay, I'm gonna get the votes together now, okay? 1 second. Get those.
I wanted there to be blood.
You want blood?
Yeah.
Well,
If you
TDB, there's 2 minutes left. You can get blood if you want.
You know what? You wanted blood. # why are women? Right?
Okay.
And if you can't answer the question, you're a fucking weem. How's that?
All right. True.
First sign of adversity.
I concede. Why are women?
Jesus.
There's no answer.
There you go.
Okay, let's get these answers.
Silver platter right here. There you go.
Okay, let's get these answers, okay? Let's get these judges' votes. Okay.
Vote for me.
Okay.
Please?
I've got all 3 votes and it's a unanimous decision. Okay.
Me. Vote for me. I'll make you a pie.
That nobody ate? Good idea. On all 3 judges' scorecards, 1, 2, and 3, they all decided unanimously. Like very unanimous, like they were very clear. That the winner of the undercard of the Hippy Dippy Championship match is Critically Thinking Veteran.
God damn. All right.
I'd like to take this opportunity here to put a real pound out to Shoe0nhead, right? It was a good debate. It was a good debate. There we go. All right. Good debate. I had a lot of fun, but we all know where this is leading, people, don't we? Destiny, I don't know what this this animosity was happening earlier with the topic. I tried to find out. There was some things, right? Fact of the matter is, though, you got to show up tonight. You've got to come in here, and you've got to show actual Jake why it's just a cornflake. God, I hope he's wearing that suit tonight. I really do. I hope he's wearing that suit.
CTV.
Anybody else want to see cornflake in the suit? Anybody else want to see cornflake in the suit? Right?
CTV. Now, with you winning tonight, you are now the #1 challenger against all odds to the Hippy Dippy Championship. The voters at home voted that Shoe0nhead was going to win tonight. It was, I believe it was 66% to 33%. Once again, underestimating your ability to put together, you did the bare minimum of putting together coherent sentences, and you have won tonight. And so my question to you is, what do you have to say for everybody who's doubted you up to this point?
Well, anybody that's doubted me along the way hasn't been paying attention. The fact of the matter is I've been a workhorse since day fucking one. I know my shit, right? I show up, I tell you the truth, and that's just how it is, right? And anybody else out there that is even questioning it needs a real reality check. Needs the reality check, because they just don't get it, man. They don't understand work ethic, and this is exactly why you can't trust much of anything you hear on the left. You just can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Now, my question to you now is, CTV, is right now the champion's destiny. May be actual Jake once the night is over. We don't know yet. The match is going to happen. What do you have to say to the prospective winner of tonight's match?
To the winner of tonight's match.
Me? Who's saying that?
Make sure you go ahead and buy that postage,
Oh.
because it's heading my way.
Wow. And Shoe0nhead, do you have any words as the loser, but a fan favorite? It seems to be.
Well, I bet on CTV tonight, so I knew that was gonna happen. But this was good. This was good practice. I think next time I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna get some blood. I'm gonna squeeze some blood out of the debate. But this was a great experience. Thank you so much again, Dylan. Always love doing these.
I appreciate it. I didn't know it was gonna go like this, but I mean, I don't know what I expected. Exactly.
I don't know what I expected either, but it was fun.
And good luck to the winner of the next debate. I'll probably be watching it. So.
Well, thank you. The next debate is a grudge match between Actual Jake and Destiny, two people who don't like each other very much. And also, of course, they will be debating toxicity on Twitch, and there will be a final rule implemented that neither of them know yet, that I'm very excited to announce to them in about 30 minutes. Thank you again. Shoe0nhead said she will delete her Twitter if we reach the Conflict of Nations a download goal. She said she will delete it. So for everybody at home, if you scan the QR code on my screen right now and play the game, she will delete.
I will delete it, and then I will also vote for Hillary, right? Remember?
Yes, and you'll also endorse Hillary for 2024. So just something for the viewers at home, if they want to get her Twitter account deleted, all you have to do is scan the QR code, download the game, Conflict of Nations.
I think this is definitely a moment for the people's champion to have a say in here on behalf of the people, right?
Okay, if you want to say something on behalf of the people before we move over back to the commentary segment before the last match of the night.
Yeah, so the people right now, I just got a sense. What they're saying is that CTV was just followed by Shoe0nhead on Twitter. Shoe0nhead was just followed on Twitter by CTV. There is no way in hell we want Shoe0nhead's Twitter to go away. So 320, right? Don't take a chance with 325. 320, folks, is what we're allowing for tonight, not 325. You have to get to 5 after that. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I know there's nobody online who would want to see your Twitter account banned, so I don't know if it's really a goal for people. But the other thing is that Destiny said that he'll stop playing League of Legends if we reach the same goal. So that's another thing for the people.
Thank
you.
Absolutely.
See you guys later. You can see you both out. I'll message you both privately. Again, thank you both for coming on. I know it was more of a meme show, but I appreciate it.
Of course, Dylan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
CTV out.
Bye.
Jesus Christ, why did I do that? Oh my God.